everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. You can clap now if you like. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming out here. We are outdoors, and I am more than 6 feet, so I'll remove my mask so that I will not get attacked by our Lord and Master, our Overlord, King Andrew II. All hail the King. I will not be attacked by him. We will not shut down this establishment. Yes, I love that. By the way, we are out here. What county are we in? Tioga County. Yes, we are. Stop number 35 of the full Sharpe, trying to cover this state for a very important reason. This state matters. You might say, does it matter that much? Some of you aren't. Some of you are here from Jersey. Some of you are from Pennsylvania. Thank you for coming, guys. Why does this matter so much? Because New York State is the actual battleground state. They will tell you that the state is not New York State, that it's Michigan, or it's Florida, or it's Pennsylvania. It's not. That's the battleground state to see which of the two major parties will dominate us for the next 4 years. But we still get dominated. Instead, look at the states where the government is trying its best to take as much from us as it possibly can. That's New York and California. That's New York and California. Now, California doesn't have me. New York does. That's how that works. So New York is the battleground state. Whatever happens here in New York will eventually come to your state. Whatever happens in New York City will come to your city. Whatever happens in upstate New York will come to your rural suburban town. That's how it works. If we can fight them and stop them here, we can change the country. And that's what people don't get. And that's why I'm out here. But we have to do that. New York State is very special. It's very similar to many parts of the country as a whole. City versus rural, north versus south, all mix of different people here or there, diversity of the state. We have areas where some of our counties have less than 5,000 people. That's less than 3 blocks in Brooklyn. That is how dense some of our counties are and how sparse some of our counties are. But it's all New York, just like America. How are we going to make a change? If you're saying to yourself, you know what? Things just aren't going the way I want them to go. Every 10 years is a crash. Things are going bad. They're cracking down on my rights. They're cracking down. And the answer is always another stick. Hit it with a stick. I'm afraid of it. Pass a law. There ought to be a law. Yet what has actually changed? What impact? You think with all the laws we have, there'd be no problems, right? We passed a law against everything more than once. There are laws upon laws upon laws. Remember something. What government does well is check a box. What government does well is give you something, and not even that well. What it doesn't do is actually help. When you actually need help, when someone needs help, the first thing is not a program, but is someone who cares. And if someone cares, then they can find you the right thing that will make you better in whatever that thing, whatever problem is. But there's something more important. When things go wrong, we have set ourselves up here. It's very important to understand. We've set ourselves up that it is in the best interest of our governor or president or county legislator or insert thing here. It's in our best interest to pass multiple laws, to do everything we can to lock us down. Why? Because if we still get sick from COVID or whatever is the problem of the day, if we still have the problem, I, as the politician, can say, I did everything I could to save you. See, don't blame me. And if you don't get sick, see, my draconian laws worked. Either way, I win. But if I actually trust in you, then all of a sudden I have to worry. That's where we are now. And one of the biggest reasons is when there's a problem, we look to government for the solution. We've stopped looking to each other. Whenever you add government, you by default remove community. That's what you do. We want to make sure that doesn't happen. We want to make sure that we're not doing that. We're encouraging community. We're encouraging that handout to help us out. Now, I brought up a couple of ideas. Helping, I brought up community, and I brought up the government cracking down on our rights. Why? Because I have 3 speakers today who are going to cover all 3 of those pieces. People always tease me and they say, Larry, when you do your events, I bet it's all a bunch of libertarians. It is, and also others, right? Democrats show up, Republicans show up today. I'm very happy. I have a Republican here today. I have a guy running here locally for county legislator, Broome County, right? County legislator later today. He's running. I got him today. He's going to talk about, is that what we talk about? Rights. Your rights. It is his number one issue. We talk about it often. The man himself, Michael Voss.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to join you in your event. I know there's a lot of people who are going to say, oh my God, he's a Republican, and yeah, maybe I have a suntan. And some of you are saying, oh, but he's from Broome County. Why is he in Tioga? Very simple. Because we are one community united.
Yes.
Because America, and one of the biggest fundamental things about being Americans is not only that we have the freedom of speech, but we have the freedom to communicate with each other. To say, hey, let me tell you what my idea is, and you get to tell me what yours is. Are we guaranteed we're going to agree? Not necessarily. Is it guaranteed that we're going to say, that's the best idea I've ever heard? No. And probably what is going to happen is you're going to have some part of that idea that's fantastic. And I'm going to have some part of that idea that's fantastic. And when we work together, we're going to come up with a fantastic compromise that works for more people than either idea by itself. That's what got America to this point today. And at every level of government, that's what's going to get America to the future. And one of the biggest things that Larry mentioned, and I've spoken with Larry many times, we have great conversations. When we agree, we have great conversations. When we disagree. And the other speakers today, I could say the same thing about them. We talked about rights. The biggest right you have right now is the freedom to vote and the freedom to speak. And both of those are under assault. And I don't care if you're a Democrat, a Republican, a conservative, a libertarian, progressive. It doesn't matter what title you put on what you believe. Absolutely, everyone should vote. Every vote should be as secure as is possible. Everybody should speak up before then and say, I have a belief, and this is why I'm going to vote the way I do. Maybe we won't all agree. Maybe we will. The more of us that speak, the better it will be. That is true in Tioga, in Broome County, New York State, and the rest of the 50 states. I am happy to be able to have this conversation with you today. No matter who you vote for, no matter if you can't vote for me, because I'm here to stand with you to help make your community better, because that helps make my community better. And it doesn't matter whether I'm running for legislator or I'm not running at all. We work together to make our country better. That's why I'm happy to be here today. That's why I'm making sure other people can see what's happening here today, because your voices should be heard. And I don't believe in the media selecting one voice or another voice. Let them all be heard. So with that said, I'm going to say very simply, yes, I am running for the Broome County Legislature. My name is Michael Vasquez. I am a political commentator, and I'm going to go and do my job right now. And you have some fantastic, great people.
Website.
Huh?
Website.
Oh, my website is Vasquez for Broome. But I want everyone to know, you have some great people. I know what it's like to run for an office. It isn't easy. It's hard. It takes a lot of time. It's tiring. Thank God they're standing up, just like the other Republicans, and yes, the Democrats, I'll say it right now, that they're all standing up to say this is what they believe. So let's all listen to it. And thank you.
So happy. Thank you, Michael, for coming. And, you know, he brings up an important point. He brings up the idea of our ability to vote and our ability to speak. You will hear me often say, you got to vote gold in this election. You got to vote gold in this election. People say, why? Why do you want to vote gold in this election? If you simply say, well, I'm a Republican, so I'm going to vote red, or I'm a Democrat, so I'm going to vote blue. And then you're worried about why the country keeps going in the same direction. You're the problem. You should be looking at your ballot and looking at each individual and saying, which one is going to be the right one for me? Not just because they happen to be on your team and wear your jersey. If you're voting because of the jersey the color the person wears, if that's the reason why you're voting, then what you've just told all the establishment is they own your vote. They own your vote. They can be as bad or as good as they want to be, and you will just vote for them because they're wearing your jersey. That's it. You're voting red or you're voting blue. Why in the world would they do anything better? Why would your vote count? Why does your voice count? I'll yell and be angry at my Republican because I'm a Republican, and they'll ignore you. Or I'll yell at my Democrat because I'm a Democrat, and they'll ignore you. But if you say, you know what, I might not vote for you. I might go the opposite way. I might vote, I don't know, Libertarian. I might vote Libertarian instead. That will change things. And I know many people here are Libertarian, some aren't. I know many people out there aren't who are watching, and that's okay. You should still care. Why? Because if you actually want better Democrats and better Republicans, like Michael talked about, you've got to have a third party. You got to have competition. I know, crazy, right? You got to have real competition. That Republican has to be a better Republican if there's a Libertarian in that race. That Democrat has to be a better Democrat if there's a Libertarian in that race. If there's no Libertarian in the race, they don't have to be. They just go, I'm not the other, so vote for me. I'll save you from the evil Trump, or I'll save you from the evil socialism, so vote for me. But if there's Libertarian in that race, they have to be better. Republicans are supposed to be about smaller government, less taxes. They're not. Democrats are supposed to be about civil liberties. They're not. But when there's a Libertarian Party in the room, they have to be, because we are. So thank you, Michael, for coming. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. With that in mind, I was about something else that Libertarians talk about all the time. And that is the idea of community. The idea that how in the world are we going to take care of ourselves? How in the world are we going to make things happen in our local communities? For those of you who paid attention to my campaign in 2018, I very often talk about this. Remember something. What is government always? It is a monopoly and a jobs program. Always those two things, a monopoly and a jobs program. So when you remove government, you leave a vacuum. So what are we going to do? We've got to build community up so that we can remove government. So that when government goes away, community is there to do that, to pick up that slack and take care of us. Because as I mentioned earlier, government will service you, but it won't help you. It can't. It can't. Imagine for a second, I run a government organization, and these are my people of it. That's my team, right? And this guy here, Keith, he's my boss. And I tell Keith, I said, Keith, I did a great job. I serviced 100 people this week. Keith goes, well done. Good job, Larry. Yeah, I'm doing great. Next week, I serviced 120. Keith goes, you're the man, Larry. Keep going. Thank you, boss. Next week, I served 150. Oh, Larry, you're awesome. We're going to hire some new people. We're going to get some more funding. Yeah. The next week, only 100. What happened, Larry? Oh, well, they didn't need it. What do you mean they need it? How are we going to validate our budget? I just hired this new guy. You better start servicing some more people. So now people come in. And this guy over there, he's shady. This guy, Rich, he's shady. This guy should not get my services at all. And he knows it. But I got pressure from my boss. So what do? Well, just this time. I'll bring him on. He tells him. He tells him. And now they're coming on also. Boss, I'm back at 200. I'm back at 200. Now we're rocking and rolling. I am literally incentivized to never help, to never make things better. And that's common. But look instead at a nonprofit, one that's not funded by government, donor base. All of a sudden now, same situation. Now I say, hey, boss, I serviced 100 people. He goes, well done, Larry. Next week, I serviced 120. He goes, well done, Larry. Where's your success story? Oh, I don't have one. Larry, how are we going to raise funds if you don't show me a success story? They're not going to give us any money. If any of you been to one of those events where they're trying to get money from you, what do they always show? A success story. Here's someone we actually helped. Here's someone we actually helped. That's community. And we only build that if we take the time to build our community. The guy I'm going to talk about now, he's running for U.S. Congress here in New York State. He is all about that. I know personally he's about helping people, building people, and what he calls acts of random kindness. He's going to cover that in a second, but it's a man who I respect tremendously. I know what he does. He's rock and rolling here. Keith Price.
Act of random kindness. We'll go right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our arc, Acts of Random Kindness. You see, when you build an arc with the intention of a catastrophe, you are already prepared for when the rainstorms come. There is room on our arc for everybody. Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, all races, all sexual orientations, all life preferences. We have room. Because if I build my own little arc, what good is it going to do me? But if I have his help, her help, and we build a community arc, our arc is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to get stronger. And as our arc gets bigger, stronger, capable of handling more, what happens? That government we've been talking about slowly and surely gets edged out. And the reason it gets edged out is because I no longer need to look to Uncle Sam and say, please help me, because I can turn to Mel or Mel's church community, or I can turn to Nick in the back and say, I need help. Will you help me, brother? Will you help me, sister? Will you help me, fellow American? Now, there is very definitely room on our arc for the federal government. There's even room on it for the emperor. It's near the outhouse. But
Nice. Come on.
there is room for government at all levels on our arc. But what they have to understand is they don't control the wheel. Each and every American citizen, each and every voter has a hand on the wheel of that arc. We steer the ship. And when they realize that they are nothing more than passengers whose sole duty is to make sure we don't take on water in a great time of need, then the ship will float when the waters rise, and we will sail to the next best thing. Arc. Acts of random kindness. It can be something as simple as opening the door to put a board on our arc. Or it can be something as major as running for public office or becoming a public speaker or a motivational speaker or an author. Everyone here tonight and everyone in our great country has the capability of adding their own deck to our arc. And it's very clear to me that it is our arc. I need everyone to understand this, because it is no more my arc or the government's arc as it is yours. So when we build this arc, and we're all there together, and you've built your deck, you've now given yourself a position, and that position will allow you to affect positive change. It's 3 simple letters, A-R-K, acts of random kindness. 1 a day, 1 a week, 1 a month, and 1 a year can really change a person's life. And changing a person's life is what libertarianism is about.
Yes.
Because what we're doing is we're trying to improve their status without all that big apparatus. So why I'm running for Congress is to build my arc, is to protect our constitutional rights and values, but it's also to impose upon government the simple concept of Thanks, but no thanks. Not today. Thanks, but no thanks, Cuomo. Not tonight. Woo! We don't need you. We can do this ourselves. I've got a church or a youth group or a fraternal organization. They're going to help me. I don't need your bailout. I need you to sit down, shut up, and sit back there.
By the outhouse.
Buy the outhouse.
Yeah.
Buy the outhouse. So I'm an open flowing kind of guy, and I want ideas on our art, especially different ideas. If I can get 10 different perspectives, we can come to one great solution. Give me 10 different perspectives on our art, one great solution. So all I ask for is those of you, now my district is gerrymandered. For those of you that don't know what I mean by this, we had a congressman who had family in Appalachia. So they crowbarred just a drop of Tioga into my district. But if you can vote for me, do so. And do so not because I'm the libertarian candidate, but vote for me because I want you on our arc. And the only way we're going to get that arc to Washington is if we've got enough momentum. So vote for me or don't. But either way, join me on the arc.
What's your website?
I don't have a traditional website. You can find Keith Price on Facebook or Keith Price for the US 22nd. I've got all kinds of stuff going on there. I'm getting better with it. So visit me on Facebook. Visit my campaign page. Also, I'm going to plug this real quick. I have a Zoom, roll my eyes, debate between the Republican and myself on October 15th on Facebook Live. But more importantly, I have a nationally televised debate being carried by C-SPAN, CNN, because they just texted me that they confirmed it, and our local PBS station. All three carriers are going to provide it. It will be all three of us on the stage at the same time. And they have made a terrible mistake because they did a coin flip and determined that I get first rebuttal and last goodbye statement. They have no clue what I'm going to say. And what I'm going to say is, well, they scream Trump. Yeah. Well, they know this is coming. Well, they scream Trump and they scream Pelosi. I'm going to scream ARC and Constitution. Thank you for having me.
Oh, aren't we lucky to have a guy like him running? Aren't we lucky?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. We're talking a lot about the idea of help. We're talking about community. When I ran in 2018, one of the things I said often is that libertarians make a mistake. And they think that our movement is about freedom and liberty. It isn't. It isn't. Our movement is actually about happiness. It's about happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what our divorce papers from the UK said, right? That's what they said, right? Our divorce papers said life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We said, I'm not going to be like you, Dad, right? The empire. I'm going to go off and I'm going to be about freedom and liberty and happiness. You can take your empire and go someplace else. But we did as a rebel team. And now all of a sudden, it's 200 some odd years later, and we have an empire. And we're fighting in the Middle East. And we have the world's largest navy. And we have a king. Wow. We have become our father, haven't we? Yeah, we have. We become our father. I want us to not do that. I want us to care about happiness. And I ask you all a question. What one thing can I give everybody in this room right now that will keep every one of you individually happy now and happy 10 years from now? And the answer is nothing. What'd you say? $10 million. One kid's thinking. I like that. I like that. However, excuse me, guys. Go ahead, please. Sorry, I gotta get guys gotta go in and eat stuff. $10 million. I like the way you're thinking. But 10 years from now, when you've thrown that away on Pokemon cards or whatever, there's the cool thing of the day. Are Pokemon cards still cool now? I don't know. Whatever they are, when you throw it away. Skateboards, when we throw it away on designer gold-plated diamond skateboards, when you've done that, then what happens? It's gone. You change throughout your life. The only thing that I can actually give you is your ability to pursue happiness. That I can do. As a governor, as a government, as a legislator, as a mayor, all I can do is give you the ability to pursue happiness to the best of your ability. And you'll pursue it. And you may lose it. And you may gain it again. But you'll keep chasing it. And that's what America is about. Chasing happiness. And what is our party about? Allowing you to have the freedom to be as happy as you want to be. Because here's the next lie that libertarians tell ourselves, which is not true. Everybody wants freedom and liberty. That's not true. Some people don't want to be free. And that's okay. And that's okay. Just don't force your view on others. That's the most important piece. Allow people to be free when they want to be free and not when they don't. Allow people to chase happiness the way they want to chase happiness. Be independent as they want to be independent. I'm going to bring up somebody right now who embodies that, who talks about that idea all the time, who has been an inspiration for many people. He's running right now here for State Senate 52 in New York, the man himself, Thomas Queen.
How do you follow Larry Sharpe, Michael Basquiat, Keith Ruff? Well, you pretty much sit there and you say, well, everything they talk about is me. Keith's art, that happened to me.
Yep.
Libertarian Party crowdfunded wheelchair I'm sitting in, the government would give you static as far as finding your path, becoming a more whole person, more involved in their community. That also happened for me, the Libertarian Party in my ranks. When it comes to freedom, that's what you're looking for. That's what the Libertarian Party gave me. When it comes to community, if that's what you're looking for, the Libertarian Party gave that to me. They crowdfunded not only my wheelchair, but they crowdfunded my trip to the national convention. Halfway across the country, biggest trip I've ever made, where I expect contention. I expected to have to fight for the inclusion of our online participants, those who couldn't travel in the COVID-19 situation, the government restrictions. When I got there, I was happy to realize the only fight they had, the only fight we all had, was over how to make it happen through our rules. Everybody wanted everybody to participate. Everybody wanted inclusion. That included me. They wanted me to be included. I discovered I was already known when I got there. That was amazing. I didn't expect everybody to know my name. I didn't expect everybody to want to talk to me. The first time in my life that anything like that happened. Now, I was canvassing Binghamton earlier today, and I was talking to, believe it or not, a beer delivery guy. It was delivering beer to one of the bars downtown, and I was talking about healthcare, and brought up the movie Tommy. That's my favorite reference for healthcare. If you have seen the movie Tommy Boy, Dan Aykroyd's character says he puts a guarantee on the box because it's a piece of crap in that box. That's all he's guaranteeing. It's a piece of crap. And if that's what people want, he's got spare time. Well, apparently our government has an awful lot of spare time because that's the only guarantee they ever give us. I was watching Owego before this event. And for the second time in my life, I ran into the parent-child osteogenesis, my condition, in New York. But a lot of them online. Second time in my life that I met parent-child osteogenesis in New York. And parental rights is something that libertarians do talk about. With my advocacy, I'm very familiar with it because I started in the osteogenesis imperfecta community. And I have spent countless hours talking to parents who waited 18 years to see their child because it was born, wasn't diagnosed, brought it into the hospital, they broke the bone, government took it away. By the time it got a diagnosis, it had been adopted. 18 years ago. This woman was in a similar situation. She went through a divorce and had joint custody, but that the nature of that joint custody limited her interaction with the child so much. She feels like she's basically lost her child, who is now an adult. She's turned 29. That's not for the government to do in either of those cases. We are supposed to work together. We are supposed to communicate. And our communities are supposed to support us and each other. We're supposed to support them. That's why I advocate for those with disabilities. That's why I find solutions. And that's why, after 10 years of writing the New York State Legislature, both parties letters about the disability issues, only to get a canned response. When I had the chance to join and get involved with the Libertarian Party, the fastest growing political party in the nation, I took it.
Yeah.
And I put myself out there. I put my advocacy for those with disabilities in the Libertarian Party. And it was accepted like it never had been before. Solutions were had, not only for me, but now we're coming together to help other people in similar situations. I'm working with a woman out of Orange County. I'm working with a gentleman in Gloversville. I'll be working with more, one way or another. Whether I win the Senate or not, I'm going to continue working for those with disabilities, and I'm going to continue showing them and libertarians that we are the answer. Libertarian action, the community action, the neighbor action, the familial action, what we actually do. That's what matters. So check out TomThe52.com. Take a look at my policies. They're very fair. They're very centrist. I am a centrist. There are a lot of reasons that I would join the Democratic or the Republican Party, but none of them added up for me. So I am a libertarian.
Yeah.
And if you're in District 52, vote Tom and vote for your community. Thank you.
We are very lucky to have these candidates running today. I'm so happy that they're here. I want to wrap this up with a very important piece. The one thing that you saw here that you won't see with the major parties is you saw people who actually wanted to make real change and didn't just talk about, let me placate you. They didn't say, I have a program that's going to give you what you want. They said, I'm going to help you build your community so it's sustainable and real change. I'm going to help you get the change that you want. Because here's the funny part. We talk about diversity all the time, don't we? Diversity this, diversity that, diversity is so important. Oh my God, diversity so critical. Diverse, diverse, diverse. Then the first thing we do is create a one-size-fits-all plan from our capital city. What sense does that make? What I realized in New York State, as well as across the country, is communities are different. Broome County is not Brooklyn, right? Tioga County is not Erie County. They're different. Hamilton is not Manhattan. They're different counties, and they should be, and we should be happy about that, and that's a good thing, and allow counties to be counties and communities to be communities so we can actually help ourselves and be happy where we live and build communities that are sustainable so that when bad things happen, we can bounce back and be resilient. This country needs to heal. This state needs to heal. Are you telling me a Democrat or Republican leadership right now in this country, Biden wins or Trump wins, that's going to heal our country? No. The only way we heal our country is with the libertarian movement. The liberty movement, which says you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want to be, just don't force your view on others. That's it. You can join us at the end of November or December, whenever they decide this election's over, whenever our overlords give us our new leader, whenever that happens, there will be tens of millions of unhappy Americans on one side or the other. Where are they going to go? I say come here. But they can only come here if we build out our party this year, if we show them we're a contender this year, if we show them that we have value this year. I'm asking you, Look up and down your ballot this year. Everybody watching, everybody out here, look up and down your ballot. And if you see gold on your ballot, vote gold 2020. Vote gold for our future. Vote gold to hear our country. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching, everybody. Thank you.